When a generator's output breaker trips upon connecting the ground wire to the panel, several factors could be at play. Incorrect grounding is a primary suspect. It is imperative to ensure the generator's grounding rod and the panel's grounding system are properly connected. This requires using copper wire or an insulated grounding bar. Refrain from shared ground connections with other systems, as this can introduce complexities and potential problems. Parallel ground paths can also trigger nuisance tripping. Double-check that there are no unintended ground connections between the generator and the panel, aside from the main ground wire. Any extraneous ground paths can create loops, leading to unwanted breaker trips. A faulty generator outlet is another area to examine. Scrutinize the receptacle or terminal block on the generator for loose connections or any signs of damage that might compromise the grounding integrity. A faulty two-pole breaker may also be the culprit. The breaker itself could be malfunctioning, causing it to trip prematurely. In such instances, try replacing the breaker with a similar model to see if that resolves the issue. High ground fault current is another factor. Measure the ground fault current flowing through the generator's grounding system. If this current surpasses the breaker's trip threshold, it could be the reason for the tripping. To address these potential causes, first verify grounding. Ensure proper and secure grounding connections are established throughout the entire system. Next, eliminate parallel ground paths. Disconnect any unnecessary ground wires that exist between the generator and the panel. Inspect the generator outlet thoroughly. Tighten any loose connections and repair any damage present on the generator's output receptacle. Replace the breaker if you suspect it to be faulty. Swap out the two-pole breaker with a new one to eliminate any internal faults as a possibility. If you detect high ground fault current, investigate potential sources of leakage within the generator, wiring, or connected appliances. Consider implementing ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, for circuits that are particularly sensitive. Additional considerations to keep in mind include: firstly, consult the generator manufacturer's recommended grounding instructions for specific guidance. Secondly, ensure that the generator's frame and the panel it's connected to are properly bonded. This bonding creates a continuous electrical path, which is crucial for safety and proper operation. Thirdly, avoid grounding the generator's frame to the neutral wire in the panel. This configuration can establish a reverse current path, potentially causing the breaker to trip. The grounding system of a generator is designed to provide a safe path for fault currents to return to the source, which in this case is the generator itself. When the ground wire is connected, it creates a low impedance path that allows these fault currents to flow quickly and safely, tripping the breaker and preventing electrical shock. Several things can disrupt this process, leading to nuisance tripping or, more dangerously, a failure to trip when a fault actually occurs. One common issue is having multiple ground paths. This can happen if the generator is grounded both at the generator itself and at the panel is feeding. These multiple paths can create ground loops, which are undesirable because they can cause circulating currents that can interfere with sensitive electronic equipment and, in some cases, cause breakers to trip. To avoid ground loops, it's generally recommended to ground the generator at one point only, usually at the generator itself. The grounding electrode conductor, which is the wire that connects the generator's frame to the grounding electrode, should be sized appropriately for the generator's output. This size is determined by the National Electrical Code, or NEC Table 250.66, and it's important to ensure that the wire is large enough to safely carry any fault current. Another factor to consider is the type of grounding system used. There are two main types of grounding systems: the separately derived system and the non-separately derived system. A separately derived system is one where the generator is completely isolated from the utility power system. In this case, the generator must have its own grounding electrode system, which typically consists of a ground rod driven into the earth. A non-separately derived system is one where the generator is connected to the utility power system. In this case, the generator can use the utility's grounding electrode system. The choice of grounding system depends on the specific application and the requirements of the local electrical code. In some cases, it may be necessary to consult with a qualified electrician to determine the best grounding system for your generator. It's also important to ensure that all of the wiring and connections in the grounding system are properly installed and maintained. Loose connections or damaged wiring can create high resistance points in the grounding system, which can impede the flow of fault current and prevent the breaker from tripping. Regularly inspect the grounding system for any signs of damage or corrosion, and tighten any loose connections. The size of the breaker itself is also critical. A 30 amp 2-pole breaker is designed to trip when the current exceeds 30 amps on either of the two hot legs. If the breaker is tripping at a lower current than 30 amps, it could be a sign that the breaker is faulty and needs to be replaced. Breakers can sometimes degrade over time, especially if they have been subjected to repeated overloads or short circuits. When replacing a breaker, always use a breaker of the same type and rating. Using a breaker with a lower rating can create a fire hazard, while using a breaker with a higher rating can prevent the breaker from tripping when it should, which can also create a safety hazard. In addition to the grounding system and the breaker, the wiring between the generator and the panel can also cause problems. If the wiring is undersized or damaged, it can create a voltage drop, which can cause the generator to work harder and potentially overheat. The wiring should be sized appropriately for the generator's output, and it should be inspected regularly for any signs of damage or wear. Another potential cause of breaker tripping is a ground fault. A ground fault occurs when current flows from a hot wire to ground. This can happen if the insulation on a wire is damaged or if there is a short circuit in an appliance or piece of equipment. Ground faults can be very dangerous because they can cause electrical shock. To protect against ground faults, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are often used. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults and quickly shut off the power to the circuit, preventing electrical shock. GFCIs are typically required in areas where there is a high risk of electrical shock, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. If the generator is being used to power sensitive electronic equipment, it may be necessary to use a power conditioner or surge protector. Power conditioners and surge protectors can help to protect electronic equipment from voltage fluctuations and surges which can damage or destroy sensitive components. Power conditioners can also help to filter out noise and interference from the power line, which can improve the performance of electronic equipment. When troubleshooting a generator breaker tripping problem, it's important to take a systematic approach. Start by checking the grounding system to make sure that it is properly installed and maintained. Then check the breaker to make sure that it is the correct type and rating and that it is not faulty. Next, check the wiring between the generator and the panel to make sure that it is properly sized and not damaged. Finally, check for ground faults and consider using GFCIs to protect against electrical shock. In addition to these steps, it's also important to consult with the generator manufacturer's instructions. The manufacturer's instructions will provide specific information about the generator's grounding requirements and other important safety information. Following the manufacturer's instructions can help to ensure that the generator is operated safely and efficiently. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for grounding and bonding electrical systems. Article 250 covers grounding and bonding requirements for all types of electrical systems, including generators. Some key NEC requirements for generator grounding include the following. Firstly, the generator frame must be grounded. This can be done by connecting the generator frame to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. Secondly, the grounding electrode conductor must be sized according to NEC Table 250.66. The grounding electrode conductor is the wire that connects the generator frame to the grounding electrode. Thirdly, if the generator is used as a separately derived system, it must have its own grounding electrode system. This means that the generator must have its own ground rod or other grounding electrode. Fourthly, the neutral conductor must be bonded to the generator frame. This is typically done at the generator's neutral terminal. Fifthly, the equipment grounding conductors must be connected to the generator frame. The equipment grounding conductors are the wires that connect the metal parts of electrical equipment to the grounding system. These requirements are designed to ensure that the generator is properly grounded and bonded, which helps to protect against electrical shock and fire hazards. If you are not familiar with the NEC requirements for generator grounding, it's best to consult with a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician can help you to ensure that your generator is properly grounded and bonded, which can help to keep you and your family safe. Also, remember that generators produce carbon monoxide, a deadly, odorless gas. Never operate a generator indoors or in a partially enclosed space. Always operate the generator outdoors in a well-ventilated area. Install carbon monoxide detectors in your home to alert you to the presence of carbon monoxide. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for operating and maintaining the generator. Before connecting the generator to your home's electrical system, be sure to disconnect the main breaker to prevent backfeeding electricity onto the utility grid. Backfeeding electricity can be dangerous for utility workers and can also damage electrical equipment. Use a transfer switch to safely connect the generator to your home's electrical system. A transfer switch allows you to switch between utility power and generator power without backfeeding electricity onto the grid. Have a qualified electrician install the transfer switch. When refueling the generator, turn it off and let it cool down before adding fuel. Gasoline is flammable, and refueling a hot generator can create a fire hazard. Store gasoline in a safe container away from the generator and other sources of ignition. Inspect the generator regularly for any signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn parts immediately. Keep the generator clean and free of debris. A dirty generator can overheat and malfunction. By following these safety tips, you can help to ensure that you operate your generator safely and efficiently. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to consult with a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician can help you to install and maintain your generator safely. Consider that generators are valuable pieces of equipment, and it's important to protect them from theft. Store the generator in a secure location when it is not in use. Consider installing a security system to protect the generator from theft. Keep a record of the generator's serial number and other identifying information. This information will be helpful if the generator is stolen. By taking these precautions, you can help to protect your generator from theft. And the grounding system is a crucial component of any electrical system, and it's essential to ensure that it is properly installed and maintained. The grounding system provides a lower impedance path for fault currents to return to the source, which helps to protect against electrical shock and fire hazards. The grounding system also helps to stabilize the voltage in the electrical system, which can improve the performance of electrical equipment. To ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and maintained, it's important to follow the NEC requirements and to consult with a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician can help you to design and install a grounding system that meets your specific needs. Also consider regularly inspect the grounding system for any signs of damage or corrosion. Repair any damaged or corroded components immediately. Test the grounding system periodically to ensure that it is functioning properly. Keep a record of all inspections and tests. By following these tips, you can help to ensure that your grounding system is functioning properly and that it is providing the protection that it is designed to provide.